So we'll be discussing anatomy of lens, like the types of cataracts and very basics of phacoemulsification surgeries. Okay. So yeah, let's start. Wait. Outgrowth from the optic vesicle, which is a specialized area of surface ectoderm. So you're supposed to know that the lens is a part of the ectoderm, right? And so these are the stages of lens development going to be there in your textbooks. There's an embryonic nucleus which marks the core of the nucleus, and there's a fetal nucleus, infantile, adult nucleus, then there's a cortex, and then there's a lens epithelium. So there are different types of cataracts. It's a very interesting thing you to see the variety of cataracts you find in the OPD. There's some sutural cataracts, there's persistent pupillary membrane, then Mittendorf dots, PHPV, then congenital cataracts. So in congenital cataracts, they are either the blue dot cataracts or the zonular or the lamellar cataract. And then there's an anterior polar cataract. So then they can be either an anterior lenticonus, or posterior lenticonus, or microspherophakia, or a lens coloboma even. So lens is like a transparent biconvex crystalline structure. This is the anatomy of the lens. These values, fine, like it's good to know. But the refractive power of the lens is important. It's about 16 diopters. The refractive index is about 1.39. And then this forms the surgical anatomy. There's a capsule, there's a cortex, then epinuclear plate, and then the nucleus. Then structure of the lens. There's a lens capsule. All this is not required for you. Okay, fine. So we'll go to the next one. So fine. So if you look at the history of the cataract surgery, so there has been like major shifts in. Yeah, so earlier there was in very primitive era there was couching, then there was extracapsular cataract extraction, then we developed intracapsular cataract extraction, and then there's phacoemulsification. Okay, so in the extracapsular cataract extraction, um, so then there's a management of the there's a surgical management. So firstly, there's a non-surgical management. In the non-surgical management, there's treatment of the cause of cataract. And so you need to control the diabetes. You need to remove the carcinogenic drugs like corticosteroids, phenothiazines, and strong miotics. Then removal of irradiation, early and adequate treatment. Early and adequate treatment of any ocular disease. Then measurement of measures to delay the progress. So commercially available preparations containing iodine, salts of calcium and potassium are being prescribed in abundance in early stages of cataract. Vitamin E, aspirin, they delay the cataractogenesis. These are all okay. Then measures to improve cataract in the presence of incipient and immature cataract. So refraction should be corrected at frequent intervals. Arrangement of illumination, patients with peripheral opacities, brilliant illumination, use of dark goggles in patients with central opacities. Then we come to the surgical management. So what are the indications of surgical management? It's visual improvement. Then there are medical indications. So there can be the lens-induced glaucoma, phacoanaphylactic endophthalmitis, retinal disease like diabetic retinopathy or a retinal detachment. Then how will you do a pre-operative evaluation? So general medical examination of the patient, there's an ocular examination. Following information is essential if the patient is considered for surgery. So you should have a retinal function test, that is light perception, test for Marcus gun pupillary response, two light discrimination test, Maddox rod test, color perception test, and topic visualization like the retinal function, laser interferometry, and objective test for evaluating retina, like an ultrasonic evaluation, ERG, which is electroretinogram, EOG, VER, and indirect ophthalmoscopy. Then search for a local source of IOP measurement, like raised IOP needs priority surgical management. Then pre-op medications and preparations. There's a topical antibiotic, preparation of eye to be operated, consent, scrub bath, right? Drugs to lower IOP like acetazolamide. Okay, so IOP must be lowered before cataract surgery, otherwise it can lead to disastrous complications like suprachoroidal hemorrhage, right? So then there's so what anesthesia do you do a cataract extraction under? It's done either under a local or a general anesthesia, but local anesthesia is preferred. So surgical techniques for cataract extraction, there is either an intracapsular cataract extraction or in which the entire cataractus lens along with the intact capsule is removed. Therefore, weak and degenerators or nodules are a prerequisite for this method. Because of this reason, this technique cannot be employed in younger patients with the zonules are strong. ICC can be performed between 40 to 50 years of age by use of enzyme alpha chymotrypsin. Then, what are the indications? Then, either a subluxated lens or a dislocated lens. The surgical steps for ICC techniques are superior rectus brittle suture, conjunctival flap, partial thickness groove or a gutter, and corneoscleral section. So basically, these are the steps. You'll understand it more with the diagram. So then you need to deliver the lens. So how's the lens delivered? There's an Indian Smith method, cryo extraction, capsule forceps method, irisophae method, Bayer Vectis method, formation of anterior chamber, and after that you implant an anterior chamber IOL, and you close the incision with 5 to 7 interrupted sutures, and the conjunctival flap is repositioned. So these are the steps. All these diagrams are given in your book. You should go back, open your books, read these, and if there's any doubt, you can always ask me. Then extracapsular cataract extraction, the major portion of the anterior capsule with the epithelium, nucleus, and cortex are removed, leaving behind intact posterior capsule. Okay. Indications are presently it is the surgery of choice for all types of adulthood as well as childhood. See, what are the steps of the surgery? The superior rectus brittle suture is applied. Conjunctival flap is made, which is a fornix-based flap. Partial thickness groove or a gutter is made. Then corneoscleral section. Injection of a viscoelastic substance in the anterior chamber, which is about 2% methyl cellulose or 1% sodium hyaluronate. Okay, then you do the anterior capsulotomy by a can openers technique or a linear capsulotomy or a continuous curvy linear circular capsular access. the removal of the anterior capsule, completion of corneoscleral section, hydrodissection, removal of the nucleus, aspiration of the cortex, implantation of IOL, closure of the incision by you put 3 to 5 interrupted sutures, and removal of the viscoelastic substance. So all these steps are given here. Then coming to the manual small incision cataract surgery. So in SICS, which is a manual SICS, the steps are predominantly same. There's a superior rectus suture, conjunctival flap is made, and exposure of the sclera is done. Homeostasis is achieved by cautery. Then sclerocorneal tunnel incision is made. The external scleral tunnel is 5.5 to 7.5 mm. Sclerocorneal tunnel is 1 to 1.5 mm. Then anterior capsulotomy can be can openers, envelope, or continuous circular capsular access, hydrodissection, then nuclear management, either prolapse of nucleus into the anterior chamber, delivery of the nucleus through the corneoscleral tunnel, and aspiration of the cortex. These are the steps, and this is the diagram. Okay. So firstly, superior rectus brittle suture is applied, then a conjunctival flap is raised to make a corneoscleral tunnel, which is supposed to be a self-sealing triplanar tunnel. Side port entry is done. Anterior capsulotomy, then there's a hydrodissection, prolapse of nucleus into the anterior chamber, nucleus delivery with irrigating wire vectors, aspiration of the cortex, insertion of inferior haptic into the posterior um, bag. Then coming to the most widely performed cataract surgery we do these days, that's the phacoemulsification surgery. So in phacoemulsification, corneoscleral incision is very, very small. So there's much less chance of astigmatism, right? So, so firstly, a corneoscleral incision is made. Then continuous curvilinear capsular excess of 4 to 6 mm is done. Then hydrodissection is done. Nucleus is emulsified and aspirated, and the remaining cortical matter is aspirated. So here you can see we're doing a capsular excess. So these are the steps of phacoemulsification. Okay, in figure A, hydrodissection is being done. C, hydrodelineation is being done. Then in D, there's sculpting. Then there's quadrant removal. You remove the pieces of the nucleus, and in F, you can see that the cortex is being removed. So coming to the surgical techniques for ECC, in case of a childhood cataract, so the surgical technique employed for childhood cataract is essentially of two types, either irrigation and aspiration of the lens matter or a lensectomy. So in the irrigation aspiration of the lens matter, either by conventional ECC technique or then you do the anterior capsular excess of about 5 mm in size. Irrigation aspiration of lens matter, posterior capsular excess of about 3 to 4 mm is recommended in children to avoid posterior capsule and anterior vitrectomy. So now lensectomy. In this operation, most of the lens, including the anterior and the posterior capsule, along with the anterior vitreous, is removed with the help of a vitreous cutter, infusion, and a suction machine. So in childhood cataract, both congenital and developmental and acquired being soft are easily dealt with in this procedure, especially in a very young age, like children less than 2 years of age. So in intraocular lens implant, presently IOL implant is the method of choice for correcting aphakia. The different types of IOLs, the commonly used material for the manufacture is PMMA. The major classes of IOLs based on the method of fixation are either anterior chamber IOL, uh, posterior chamber IOL, iris supported lenses. So these are the different types. Right? So that is it. Now let's just see who all is there. ठीक है, that's it.